Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over my Aero Precision M4 AR-15. So, I'm not a firearms expert by no means. I did spend a lot of time in country with an M4. And I do have certain things that I do like and I do not like. And I'm going to kind of go over the setup that I have running, things that I was looking at, and things on this that I'm actually going to change out. I'm going to give you the reasons why I kind of run the things I do and just my outlook on everything. Okay, so this is the Aero Precision M4 AR-15. So I'm going to start with the front and kind of work my way back to and explain the reasoning behind a lot of things, okay? And I will start with showing you that the weapon is unloaded. There's no rounds in there. And it is on safe. Alright. From the beginning, or from the front, I am running the standard, AR style birdcage flash hider. For me, the birdcage flash hider is kind of, it was made for this weapon. So I think a lot of the weapons that you see, a lot of the AR-15s and stuff that you see do have these on them. The military uses them on their M4s. It's the standard for me, I believe. So I have looked at a couple other ones. I have swapped them out. I have bought, I think, a couple, like 2 or 3 other ones. But I just don't like the way they look at the end of the day. I just feel like this is like a classic look for the AR-15. So we'll be leaving the birdcage on there. Next up, I'm running the Magpul flip-up iron sights. And there's a reason I run the flip-up iron sights versus the angle sights, and I'll get into that for in a minute. I am running the Streamlight ProTac light. So, it did come with a pressure plate, and one of the things that it did come with is it came with a Picatinny mount already on here. Now, on the light itself, they do have an M-LOK Picatinny mount, that comes with it. The problem with it, though, is if you go and you put the Picatinny little section here, and then you take the light and attach it with the Picatinny on there, the light ends up sticking a lot further out, and it kind of just hangs off the firearm, which might not be too much of a big deal to other people, but for me it was like unnecessary weight. And then when I was going through the packages and looking again, I did find this M-LOK mount. So it is an angled M-LOK mount, which is flush almost with the handguard itself, and it keeps that light nice and tight to the firearm. And with that on the end there, and with it being so close in, you don't feel like a lot of extra weight on the end of the firearm. When you use a firearm, or it's just like driving a car. If you drive a car all the time and you're by yourself and you know how the car performs and somebody gets in the passenger seat, you can feel the weight. So if you run a firearm quite a bit and you handle it a lot, you shoot it a lot, whatever the case, any little bit of weight that you put on there, you're going to notice a difference. This, I didn't notice too much of a difference, right? It's nice and tight in there. And it's a sleek, like, slim look. I really do like that. So that will be staying on there. Next up, I'll go ahead and go over the handguard. The handguard is the Aero Precision Atlas 1. It is a slim handguard, and there is M-LOKs on both sides and the bottom. It does have, the front has this little bit of Picatinny railing up top, right there, and a little bit more Picatinny railing down here. But you cannot mount anything through here. Which, I'm used to running quad rails, Picatinny quad rails. They're a lot heavier, they're a lot wider, but you can put stuff everywhere, right? So I wasn't sure if I was going to like this, not being able to put anything on the top. And then with handguns, I've noticed a couple of them, if the tops are smooth and they have like a little bit of reflection to them, it'll actually give you almost like a blind you a little bit, right? some of the firearms, I know on the Jericho puts the on the Jericho 941, they put the little grooves up top to kind of break it up so it's not shining in your face. So I kind of thought that that might have been a problem, but it has not been so far. And I do like the slimness of this because I can just wrap my hand all the way around, and you can just kind of drive it the way that you want to, versus, you know, this big quad rail up on there, and then you're trying to do another grip or whatever the case. It's just, it's a lot of stuff, right? This is slim, it's sleek, and it just works. I like it. It's very lightweight too. So my pressure plate for the light is mounted on this side. So, you know, you do pressure plate, you press it on it, it lights up, you give it a quick tap, give you some strobe, and then it's got the on-off switch there as well. And I am running a angle grip. So in the beginning, when I first got this, I was running a vert grip with the button on the light. And I didn't care for it. The vert grip on this, I don't really care for vert grips all that much to begin with. On certain things I do like them, but this was just not one of them. So I did take off the vert grip. I am running the angle grip. The thing I do like about this is, see the front here? I can just put that in my webbing right up in there. The webbing on my fingers right up to that. Wrap my fingers around. I'm on the pressure plate, and it gives me like that little bit of extra, just extra grip, having that little notch in between my fingers. So as far as the light goes and the angle grip, that's staying. I'm not going to change that at all. So, and then up top here, I am running the Sig Sauer Romeo 5. So the Sig red dots are they're almost like a budget red dot, right? They're not top quality, but they're not the worst of the worst either. So that is the motion activated one. I do really like that particular one. It's not heavy. You move the firearm, the light comes on. The batteries are simple to find. There's some things that I know you guys probably struggle with too. Like, I got some flashlights and stuff that take these crazy batteries that I can't never find, right? But the batteries in this I can find, and I like it. I like how it's not big and bulky. It's easy to adjust. It comes on when you move it. Adjusting the elevation and windage isn't too bad. It's pretty simple. Zeroing it's not hard. I do like this one quite a bit. Okay. Just that particular one. I've had other SIG sights, other vert models and stuff I don't really care for. I like this one. So, and back here we are running the rear Magpul flip-up sight. So the reason I'm running the flip-up sights is because I want backup sights, right? If the battery goes dead on this, I can simply pop these up and still see through the red dot. I can still see my front post. And when using these versus an angle grip, if you're running an angle grip, right, or an angle sight, and your battery runs out and you go to swap to your angle grip there, or your angle sights, it's changing everything. It's changing the way you're holding the firearm. It's changing the way the firearm's positioned in your shoulder. It's changing all of that. I prefer to keep it to where I don't have to do none of that. I can flip these up. My grip stays the same. My sight picture stays the same. It's the same in my shoulder. I just prefer to run it that way. That's the way I prefer to run it. One of the things I will give Aero Precision on this is I'm a sucker for little things, okay? So right here on this forward assist, a lot of forward assists are just rounded. This is actually angled, and it's got flat sides to it. It just gives it a different look than your traditional style of your uppers and stuff. And then the lowers the same way. Right here where the spring holds your detent for your takedown levers, this right here is normally rounded, but that's angled as well. It comes to like almost like a point, like a triangle. And just the little things like that in the design, you know, it's keeping all the functionality the same. The design's just a little bit different. And I really, you know, that's one of the reasons I chose this. I was attracted to this because of that. So same here, it's not rounded, it's angled. And this is a billet lower, okay? I believe this is a billet upper as well, but I know that this is a billet lower. I'm not 100% on that upper, so don't quote me on that. and I am running currently a bad lever. So what the bad lever does, if you do not know, is it mounts onto your bolt catch, okay? And then when your bolt locks to the rear here, instead of having to come to change your grip, come over here and slap that, the button's right here now. You just press that down and it throws the bolt forward. My reload times are a lot faster with this, but there are quite a few times I'm so used, and I've done the training with just smacking the side, that I forget that that's there sometimes. But I do like it, and I think it's something that I'm going to keep. One of the things about this lower here is the mag well is kind of flared a little bit, okay? I don't know if you're going to really be able to see that too well or not, but it is flared a little bit, which allows, you know, any type of flared mag well allows for the magazine to go in a lot smoother, right? You're not searching around for anything, it goes right in, right? And it is one block, so this is all solid right here. Now on most of your AR-15s and, you know, M4s, they have the trigger guard to where this can actually come down. Now, the reasoning that is done like that is because when they were designing the firearm, we didn't know what type of conditions we were going to be in, what type of conditions we were going to have to use our weapons in, or whatever the case. So it was designed like that just in case you were wearing gloves or something, okay? So if you're wearing gloves, this trigger well might be a little bit hard to get into if you're wearing like extreme cold weather gloves. But with the trigger guard here being able to pop out, it allows for that additional space to get your finger up there on the trigger. So I'm not real sure how I feel about this. Will I ever have to worry about it or use it? Probably not. So it's probably bothering me a little bit for no reason at all, right? But that is part of the review, okay? And the other thing about the bad lever too is it's in there, but it also is in your trigger well. One of the things I have ran into a little bit is you might hit your finger on it when you're gripping it, okay? When you go to grip your handle and get your finger in there before firing, you might hit that, okay? Is it something that you can train for to avoid? Yeah, absolutely. But it is there, okay? Moving back to the handle, that is also a Magpul grip, and I do not like this one. I have tried a few different Magpul grips, and to be honest with you, I don't really like them a whole lot. I don't know why. I can't give you a good reason on why I don't like them, other than I just don't like them. And I know I don't like the standard grip either. There's a couple that I have found out there. I have to grab my other firearms and see if I can figure out where I got the grips from. But I will be swapping the grip out. So, moving back to the charging handle. I like real estate. I know a lot of people don't, or a lot of people think things are too big, or whatever the case. But if you look at it, okay, if this was going to get caught on anything, it would hit the ejector first, right? Or the deflector. It would hit that first, okay? They're the same length out there. And to be honest with you, the forward assist sticks out a little bit further than that. And on this side, I mean, I am running the light all the way up front, but this is not sticking out too much to where I think anything's going to get caught on it, okay? So this is an arm spec Victory. Go ahead and lock it back so you can see there. It's an arm spec Victory. With the real estate aspect of everything, the standard charging handles are slim, they're kind of tiny, and you have to grab both sides, right? They're easy to slide off on sometimes, especially if your hands are wet, you're not wearing gloves, you could slide off of them. And they're hard to find sometimes, okay? Depending on how fast you're trying to do things, how your muscle memory is, what you're trying to do, they might be hard to grab sometimes. So I like the ones, I like a little bit more real estate. I do run the Fortis hammer on a couple of my firearms. I have ran the one, it looks like a battle axe kind of, but I ran that one as well. So I do like this one quite a bit, and I like the Fortis hammer a lot too. So I'm gonna catch this bolt real quick, but you're gonna reach up there to grab that. You know that you got it. You know what you're grabbing for. You're not questioning whether or not you have a good grip on it. Nothing. You got it. You know you're doing it. You pull your charging handle, right? The one thing I do like about this that you cannot do with the standard one is if I have something going on to where I can only grab it with one finger, or I can't grab both sides, or whatever the case, that'll pull. That'll pull. You don't need to grab both sides to pull that charging handle back. Either side that you grab, you're charging the firearm. Alright. Alright, back to the back. This is the Magpul. I'm not even sure which one this is. This is a Magpul buttstock. I don't particularly care for this one, for this either. This is something I am going to be changing out. I've given this one a fair shot. I don't really care for it. I do like the Magpul, the ones that are super open in the middle. It's like a little arm that comes down, up and over, or whatever. That one, when you reach down, you can grab it and pull your buttstock back. This one, you got to reach down and you got to feel for that handle, that lever, just a little bit. It's not too bad, but just a little bit. It's just enough to where I don't really care for it, okay? And it might work for you. It could work for your brother, sister's cousin, whatever the case. It's just not for me, okay? I prefer the other one to this one. And another thing that I will put in there is I do like I think it's Magpul that makes it, but there's another one that's out there, another buttstock that has wider cheek rest on it. That is a little bit wider in the back. As you can see, that one's just standard size. It's just slim. The one that's a little bit wider with the cheek rest on it, I do like those too. Okay, I like those, and I like the opened Magpul ones. Just this one is just not. I'm not a huge fan of it. Okay, and that's just my personal opinions on all of this. It's not. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional anymore that handles one of these every day or uses them for work or nothing like that. I do have quite a bit of experience with a military issue one, but not, I'm not anymore. It was a long time ago. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on it. And overall, though, I will say that this AR-15 and the setup that I'm running right now with everything the way it is, this one's pretty light. It's not heavy. It's not super bulky. This is actually a pretty light one compared to what I've had or held before or had before. This is super light. It's very, very nice. It's pretty good quality. I enjoy it quite a bit. Yeah, let me know what you think about it, or if you have any other questions, maybe something that you think that you might want to run, or different things that you've seen. Let's expand the knowledge out a little bit. All right, thank you, and have a good one.